how to play Baby Bumblebee, also known as learning how to transition between one chord to another. So Baby Bumblebee is a great song to play. It's fun. However, it's also a tricky song to play because now the students are using two chords in one song. And more challenging, it's the C chord, which uses one finger, and it's the F chord, which uses two completely different fingers. So the first thing I do when I teach my students this song is I let them see it, and I will either play it for them and let them look at the words and sing along as best as they are able, or I will just sing it without the instrument to give them a little bit of exposure. So I'll sing it for them, whichever way, and then the next step is to get them moving to it. So when you see Baby Bumblebee in your lesson plans, you will notice that the visuals have two different colors. One color represents the C chord and the other color represents the F chord. And what I'll do is I'll have my students make a motion to do during one chord and another motion to do for the other chord. A very basic, simple motion to do would be to pat the strum on their knees on the C chord and to clap the strum on the F chord with their hands. So the strum pattern that we use to play Baby Bumblebee is strum pattern number 2, or that even eighth note. And so I will have them keep that strum pattern again on their knees or clapping it in their hands. And anytime they see the color switch, they then know that they need to switch their motion. So once we do that, I generally don't do it for the whole song because the chord changes are the same. So what I'll do is I'll have them maybe do that on the first verse. So I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? Oh, I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Ouch! It stung me. And then on the second verse, I will have them take their ukuleles and pick one chord to play or the other. And I try to let my students pick and be their own teachers. So I tell them, just pick a chord because the next verse you're going to be playing the other chord anyways. And what they'll do then, so for example, if they pick the F chord, they will only play the F chord when they see it in the music. So when they see that specific color for F, and then when they see C, they'll freeze. And they'll continue to sing, but they don't play. So if I were playing the F chord on the next verse, which is I'm smashing up a baby bumblebee, it sounds something like this. I'm smashing up my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? Or I'm smashing up my baby bumblebee. Ugh, what a mess. So then, on the next verse, I'm licking up a baby bumblebee. I would tell the students that played the F chord to now play the C chord. And they would practice it. So the song begins on F, so in the beginning, they would not play, they would rest and sing. So it sounds something like this. I'm licking at my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? Oh, I'm licking at my baby bumblebee. Ooh, I don't feel so good. So now we've gotten to the point where they've played each chord by themselves, and we need to start transitioning between the two. So to help students do that, we talk about what's called hover fingers. The nice thing about the ukulele is that when you're playing the C chord, these two fingers have kind of gotten used to hanging out here. Well, what you want your students to do is to start hovering those fingers over the next chord, in this case, the F. So when they're playing the C chord, they're getting those fingers ready, and when it's time to play C, they just place them down. And when they're playing, when it's time to play F, they can place them down. And when it's time to play C, they get their C finger ready, and then they move back to it. This is something that you can do before playing Baby Bumblebee, and that's highly recommended. However, if your students are having troubles with it when you get to this point in the song, you can stop and do a review here of how to hover, and maybe even slow the verse down and get them to really do it with you slowly and carefully to make sure that they're placing their fingers in the right spot. So again, you're going to be going from F to C back to F. And just getting your students comfortable with that. And when they are, then you bring it back with the music, which is I am throwing up my baby bumblebee. And that sounds something like this. I'm throwing up my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? Oh, I'm throwing up my baby bumblebee. Ew, what a mess. And then of course you have one last verse that you can sing and play, and everybody needs more practice anyway, so I tell them do it again, and they have to practice transitioning between the C and F. So I'm mopping up my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? Oh, I'm mopping up my baby bumblebee. Phew, all clean. And that right there is just a little added tag that I do with my students. They like being able to put that ending on there, and the little tag is very easy. It just goes, phew, CF on all clean. So, phew, all clean. And if they get it, they get it. And if they don't, it's okay. But that is Baby Bumblebee and how to transition between one chord to another in a single song.